This is a video for Joe, which is how I make my kicks. So I would do a brief description on how, because if I did a whole thing, it would take me like an hour, and that's not really fun to watch. I know I would watch someone do it, but the majority of people would just sample it and that's it. So this is very heavily resampled. So with this, you can show your friends, your producer friends, how cool you've made your newest kick. So I like to make my kicks in 100 hertz. So let's go with this. So 100 hertz is a key of G. So I put a channel with operator, and this is operator. It's an FM synthesizer, which you can feed it, or you can do additive synthesis, which is even funner. So I start with the kick. I take the sustain and pull the decay down, which makes it like a pluck. I then feed a signal into another sine wave, and I put the course up by 2. I then pull the decay all the way down to make it even really short, and a sustain all the way down as well, and that gives that real punch. I then put a low pass, because this is the main beef of the kick, and put around about 12.3, 12.5 kilohertz. Yeah, 12.3, yeah. Boost the resonance, so the resonance would be around 12.3. That would give that pluck sound, but mid-range. I then put a pitch envelope, brought this down, took the decay, and you have to fiddle with the pitch envelope to get that perfect pitch. And let's do what I did here. So I then put an EQ8, and I boosted the 100 hertz, standard really, with kicks. This is the main beef. This is not using chav language of beef, or people use the word beef. I probably get so much hate for using that word now. Beef in producer terms is beef in producer terms means it gives it more. Whereas in different language it means something completely different. I'm not too sure what the other meaning, but this is good meaning for beef. It beefs the sound up, makes it more punchy. So I'm going to show you without. So this is what it sounds. Amazing. Oh, such a good kick. I then put EQ and set them. Oh, Jesus, that kick. You see that? I boosted it in the group channel as well. I'll show you the other layers. The same goes. I put the course up with these other guys. The same method really for the first one. I just use the FM, use the signal, frequency modulated, that one, the sines. All these are based on sine waves. So envelopes, short ones here. Yeah, thought so. And then I high pass this one because this is the top end. This is the mid range of a kick. So yeah, you see there? Sounds like a tom. And this is the low end one. These would be really good for snares as well. So you could use like this same method for beefing snares up. This one here is just noise. Standard, really short bit of noise. Makes that transient sharp. Oh, this sounds like something. Oh, what does it sound like? Deep house. If you put this low, you would get like a deep house bass. This is quite high, but this is like a higher end for the kick. And altogether it sounds like this. And if I take them off, amazing. I then resampled it, and I had this. So I just boosted it up. As you can see there, low end, put a high pass around 18 hertz just to get rid of that horrible 22 kilohertz sound. Even though we can't hear it, well, cats apparently can, but we can't. I then layered it with an acoustic kick, and I brung the decay down to match the kick I was using it for. So there we go, kick. Sample, standard really. I laid it on top. This is very just standard. Amazing. Put it together. Now this is where it really gets kind of interesting. I use volume shaping, so if you wanted the kicks to be a bit more louder, like this is basically compressing, but I wanted to boost what I want to boost without compressing it as much, because whenever you over compress a kick, don't do it, it's awful, it just makes everything sound shit. So I use volume shaping and it makes this. Oh, look at that kick. So from this, just makes it a bit more bassy for those club systems. I then saturated the sounds, EQs again. You see so many. Just it's all about EQing. With EQing, when you like EQ something, it will alter the phase. So you could actually layer like a different kick under this one, and if it's in the same pitch, you could like I'm using my own fingers on the bloody screen. You can use like a warp and drag it like downwards and up, and that would cancel some of the phases, which will probably make the kick sound, I don't know, completely different. So yeah, let's see what it sounds like. So move it off. Now saturator just goes through a signal, drives the sound through like a shaper, and it saturates it because it sounds so much better saturated. And then so many signals. This is the next one. I just cut it off again, and I loaded a acoustic kick again, and that's just for the high end, because with drum and bass dubstep, if you've got like, they mainly use breaks, but if you're like an electro producer, just don't bother really using acoustic kicks, because electros, you're like prog, that kind of kicks. So that's what it sounds like. Really, and then that's it really, and then I just bounced it down, used the show phase, and just pulled it up, and it sounds like this together with everything else. Yeah, if you're thinking that's my sample from my bass packs, I just dragged it in, and that's it. I hope you find this tutorial somewhat useful. If you do want an in-depth video, I may do it, because I tend to drift off things quite easily. So, but yeah, if you are interested, just leave a comment. But make sure to follow me on paulgoody.com, on SoundCloud, or my website. And yeah, if you are looking for sample packs, I will be doing my own. So I'm all about decent quality, not milking as much money as I can, just, you know, making shit kicks. You can see that it took me a long time just for one, so I want to make the best sample pack possible. And feel free to follow my mate Joe on Deuce on the SoundCloud, so all links will be in the description. And yeah, that's it. So now I need to turn